He went on to sell that agency and founded his own company, Convince and Convert. His blog, by the same name, is the #1 ranked blog for content marketing in the world and the #3 ranked blog for social media. Baer is one of the people that I really point to not only as somebody who's a driving force in our industry, making us better, keeping us honest. Please put your hands together for my good friend and a friend of all of us, Baer of Convince and Convert.
Which is that the difference between helping and selling is just 2 letters. But those 2 letters make all the difference in modern business. Because if you sell something, you can create a customer today. But if you help someone, you can create a customer for life. And that's what we're going to talk about this evening. The content that will be effective is content that is truly and inherently useful. And I call that information a utility. Y-O-U-tility. And the definition of utility is simple. It's just this. It's marketing that is so useful, people would pay for it. Now, you're not going to actually make them pay for it. That would be bold. But it's so useful that if you ask them to, they actually would. Let me give you an example. Hilton Hotels has a program on Twitter called @HiltonSuggests. They started this a couple years ago as a trial program. They took 25 hotels across the United States, took a volunteer from each hotel. This wasn't a full-time job. It was in addition to their regular duties, and said, here's what we want you to do. We want you to listen on Twitter. Pay attention to what's being said on Twitter. And if you can find a way to help, just help. So that's what they did. Here's an example. @LTHouston says on Twitter, good places to eat near the Magnolia Hotel, downtown Dallas on Saturday. Hilton Suggests jumps into this conversation. Note that this wasn't addressed to Hilton. They just saw it. They were strategically eavesdropping, if you will. They saw this, they leapt into the conversation and said, hey, @LTHouston, Wild Salsa on Main or Campese's on Elm are awesome, both within walking distance of your hotel in Dallas. Enjoy. But here's the thing. The Magnolia Hotel is not a Hilton property. So now you have Hilton Hotels using staff time and staff resources to assist somebody that they know for a fact is not a customer. But eventually, this guy's going to be in a different city and need a hotel recommendation. And at that point, who's he going to think of first? Hilton. Because they helped him when he needed it. It's a utility. Research from Edison Research and their project, The Social Habit, finds that of American social media users, more than 30% say that social media has driven a specific purchase. Of course it has, and this audience is probably 75% or more. I buy stuff that people recommend to me on social media all the time. And if you don't today, you will, and your customers will as well. What you find is that my Facebook feed goes friend, company, spouse, company. And guess what? Yours looks exactly the same, and so does your Twitter feed, and so does your email inbox, and so does your Instagram and your Pinterest and everything else. It is a combination, a collision of personal and professional relationships. And what that means for every single one of your companies is that you're not just competing for attention against other companies selling the same crap, you're competing for attention against everybody and everything. Are you more interesting to me than my wife? Because that is the bar you have to clear. You are competing line by line and pixel for attention against every cat video and every ridiculous goat meme out there in the world. And so you got 2 options. You can either try to fight that ridiculous fire with your own brand of ridiculousness, or you can be truly and inherently useful. You can embrace the concept of utility. Because if you do that, if you are useful, your customers and prospective customers will keep you close, the same way that we keep our actual friends and family members close. What does that mean? Well, it means that they subscribe to your email newsletter, and they participate in your nurturing campaign. And they like you on Facebook, and they follow you on Twitter, and they follow you on Pinterest, and they follow you on Instagram, and they keep your mobile app on the home screen of their phone, and they bookmark your website. All the things that indicate trust and loyalty and attention will happen for you if you are truly and inherently useful. Honesty and authenticity is now the springboard to your success. The future of marketing is not company-wide marketing plan. The future of marketing is marketing plan for each piece of content. How are you going to propagate your utility is almost more important than what your utility is. So here's the thing. Content is fire. Social media is gasoline. You will always be better off if you use social media to promote your utility first and your company second. But you know what? The reality is most of us still aren't doing that right. Most of us still look at social media, either intentionally or unintentionally, as the world's shortest press release. It's still way too much about us and not nearly enough about solving problems and helping customers.